Hello everyone, and welcome back. Well, not really welcome back, welcome to Stardate 20x7. Now this first map, this is something I'm gonna keep a theme if I keep doing these recolors, which I probably will, is that the first map, if a map set as a palette, I'm just going to see what it looks like without the palette. And this is what it looks like. Stardate 20x7 without the palette is blue. Reminds me of another map set, but not the way I changed it. Now this first part of this map, I like to hide behind this wall here and bring a bunch of guys over here to infight. This can work a variety of ways, but this time is not one of the ones where it works very well. Which may become evident to you with that little fight. Really, my goal here is to just get everything down to one enemy, but that doesn't really go too well until some strange stuff happens. I didn't expect the chain gunner to actually hit these guys, but he did, and I'm surely gonna take advantage of that, because now they're not gonna be attacking me until the chain gunner's dead, and now that they are, they get distracted again. See, I told you this was gonna be a strange occurrence, but at this point I decide to take the berserk, and then I lose a bit of health from all these chain gunners. Of course, in that area, the chain gunners are the biggest threat that you have to face. Everything else can be made to infight. Now that all the infighting is done, I'm just gonna kill the stragglers and get down to business. I'm just making sure everything's dead, but the first place you really want to go on this map is up this lift. Because up this lift, I can open one of the keys. When I hit one of the sides of this switch, the red side, it lowers that area into damaging floor, which I believe is supposed to indicate what that switch actually does, because you cannot see what it actually does. Also, just killing any stragglers left. I don't want to deal with this guy later. That switch opens this area down here. This staircase, which when I go down it, it's all damaging, so I try and get on the edge of one of the stairs, and then I can go up it and get the key. What I can do with this key is get a bunch of rockets really, and an archvile. Now the handling of archviles in this map doesn't go very well for me, but it's all fine because I don't die a bunch. In fact, this was the first attempt, so no deaths yet on Stardate. I assure you, that will change on the next map. And with that, you might get to see a new idea that I've had since I now know how to edit stuff for the last video on Site 2. Of course, all those vials in the middle are the biggest problem at the moment, and soon they're going to die. thing is, though, they can also fall off of that pillar, which is a real problem when they start resurrecting stuff. Although, while this is a problem, it's a manageable problem, so I'll have it dealt with in just a minute. In cases such as this, where you have enemies that you can berserk, I always choose to kill them with berserk, even if it takes longer. Because of course, ammo is always a good thing to have. You'd rather be with than without it. And you'd also rather the revenants be in front of you than behind you, because then you get surprised, like I just did there. Of course, them being in front of you doesn't always work out either. Once again, as you just saw. All these guys, I like to kill them from right here because it just bottlenecks them. You can take them on one at a time and it makes it real easy. This alley is also a good place to just kill enemies because you can always use the edges of it for cover because there's a lot of them. Hitting this switch lowers this lift. The thing about this lift though is that it's the gimmick. These two switches raise and lower this by 32 each, so I'm raising it 8 times. And then when I take the lift, it'll bring me up to higher places. One of which is right over here. Once I go up this other lift, it'll open this window. And now I get to shoot a bunch of imps. Now I'm going to take the lift to go where the imps were. Because beyond that is a key. No, not a key, a switch. And that is a switch that I do want to hit. But before that, I've got a couple enemies which are a problem for me. They're especially a problem if you don't notice them. Just waiting for this projectile to get out of my way. Now this switch, it opens up a secret. A secret which I'm going to take right now. One of 2. The secret is up where one of the first switches I hit in the map is. And it gives me a mega armor, as you've just seen. Which I'm going to put to some use. Down in this pit is one of the places where it's going to be helpful. When you grab that soul sphere, 2 chain gunners on opposite corners, a revenant on a ledge, and a couple hell knights and demons, or pinkies, or whatever you want to call them, are brought in. Now these guys, they nearly corner me, but then I managed not to die, which is brilliant. I want to get them to infight with that revenant. Because if they're doing that, then that saves me ammo that I don't have to spend. You don't really want to bother trying to get the imps to infight with them, because they'll almost always just get stuck in an infinite fight that will take forever. And we don't have time for that, so we're not going to do that. When you lower this lift, a revenant teleports in. That'll surprise you if you forget about it, or if you just don't know about it. But of course you can just punch him out like everything else. Now what I'm doing here is lining up to try and activate this secret, as well as get the plasma gun. Now I messed up a trick. If you just land on that ledge directly, like the windowsill, you can have the archvile just get crushed. Also, great use of rockets by me, using them on myself. But I did fail to do that trick because I accidentally fell in too far. It was either that or I forgot that you had to do things a particular way. But anyways, it doesn't matter because the archvile somehow managed to trap itself on another windowsill. These revenants up on this ledge are really the biggest threat. And once they're dead, then you don't have much to worry about. When you walk into this area, it lowers this lift. And when you walk into this soul sphere, these enemies teleport in. They can just be taken care of with rockets. No problem at all. I mean, you could even shotgun them if you wanted to, but that's annoying to do. So I didn't bother. When you walk all the way to the end of that hallway, it lowers this thing, which allows you to get to that switch, which allows you to get up here. Bit convoluted, but doesn't make too much of a difference. Because when you hit this switch, you get to go across this platforming, and you might have noticed all that teleporting sound. That's because all these guys got teleported outside of you. And now you get to fight them. You also can't leave until you hit this switch, so I just hit it immediately so I can leave whenever I want. I want to save some cells, which is why I'm not using them here. Near the end, there's one place where having cells really pays off. Right now, I just noticed that that Baron is still alive. And we can't have that, so I'm going to go kill him. Unfortunately, killing Barons with the shotgun is a bit of a boring task, so I'll speed it up a little bit for you. Now, I'm going to activate those two triggers again. And, well, fail to activate one, then activate it. And at the top of this lift is the exits, or at least the way to the exits. Here's a chain gunner, and here's something that requires 2 keys. This is the part where I want cells, because it means I get to damage them a little bit before they start encroaching on me. And I can't run away because there's these guys as well. And it's much worse to deal with all 4 of them at once than just 2 of them. But there we have it. That's everything in the map. So, I hear that some people don't like this map because it's a bit obtuse. On the contrary, I really like this map. I think it's quite enjoyable. And I also think it looks really nice in blue, so you can look forward to more of those recolors. I've got some pretty good ones lined up, so especially in some of the later maps. Even the earlier ones. The next one you might like quite a bit as well. But anyways, that's it for 20x7 map 1. I'll see you in map 2, and that's where things really pick up.